We went out there. We were doing that stuff. Actually, we filmed with you when we did the Air Asia thing.
Oh yeah.
And we were staying right across the street from where the Raiders complex was going up, or not the complex, or the new stadium, not the training complex.
You guys should see it right now. It is cool.
I was.
So cool.
I went in December. December is the last time I went. I haven't seen the actual facility, but when we went there, that would have been September of 18. How different it looks now. Like we saw it when they were digging. They didn't have anything above ground even yet.
Yeah, it's super cool. They put the Allegiant on the side, and it's like matte black, like total Raiders.
That's sweet. Yeah, that's
cool. It's cool. There's some construction going on still right now. So I don't know if they are on the stadium or if that's completely stopped, because I did hear that someone may have tested positive on that.
I did see that too. Yeah. Construction worker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, that changes things.
I know. So.
But it's pretty much done though, right? Like, they're
the outside I think is completely done.
Yeah.
All they have right now is just the inside.
Fine tune some electrical stuff or whatever. They'll be ready to go though for the season. Yeah.
No, hopefully, yes.
I think they have to be.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying hopefully, like, our economy is going to be like, yes, now everyone can go watch a game.
Yeah.
I think that's more of a holdup than them being done building it.
Agreed. I think when we start to get back to regular stuff, there's going to be a lot of people who don't want to go to a stadium with 60,000 other people in there.
That's really what I was trying to figure out, because being in Vegas, obviously, it's a huge, huge tourist attraction. I mean, all the money right now comes from like the service industry. So once they say, hey, now everything's clear, like, are people just all of a sudden going to rush to Vegas to go to the clubs and restaurants and sporting events? Like, I don't know. Or is it going to be like when kids get let out of being grounded and they just want to go party? Or is it going to be like, hey, we're just really all going to still be cautious and slowly integrate back into it?
Yeah. Well, I don't know what you were like at 21, 25, but I guarantee Timmy and I at 21, 25 were like, all right, we can go out. Let's go. Let's party.
First trip out there. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it'll be the young crowd first that as soon as they release the handcuffs are out and about.
Yeah, probably with cheap flights too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They're probably buying them right now. Yeah.
When things were starting to, they weren't shut down yet. So this is 3 weeks ago. When things were starting to really slow down, people were like, I don't know if I should go on flights. At this point, the NBA wasn't canceled. And I remember we were looking up flights for our mom to come visit us. And what was it, like $40 or something from Cleveland to LA?
Yeah.
Like round trip, $40 across the country.
Crazy. Yeah. I know the younger generation, definitely, I saw them be like, hey, I'm going to go on a cruise. You know what? Yeah. That's fine. I'll be fine. Like, so cheap right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and then I saw a lot of people being like, oh, those idiots, those dumbasses. And it's like, yeah, but 19-year-old me was definitely doing that. Like, I'm not getting coronavirus. Don't worry about me. I'm going on this trip. Like, selfishly, whatever it is, I would just like whatever, I still would have done it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely a traveler, and I was like, okay, tickets are really cheap. Mostly I just wanted to see my family. I'm not trying to like go on a cruise. I just wanted to like capitalize on the cheap Boise tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet is Boise a cheap place from Vegas?
Boise isn't really cheap anywhere, but Allegiant.
It's probably a good skip lag place, no?
Yes. Yeah. And Allegiant flies there because, Allegiant's based out of Vegas, and their whole thing is like flying to smaller cities and all that. So there's always Allegiant to fly into, and Southwest has been pretty good if you get it ahead of time, but yeah, it's not a huge destination over there.
But it'll be,
I can't imagine.
It'll be cheap.
How far of a
moving
drive?
Forward, though.
Yeah. The drive's like 10 hours.
It's that far?
I've done it more times than I would.
Yeah. Yeah, no thanks.
F that. That's a long drive. I mean, you could do it from time to time, but you don't want to be consistently doing that.
No. Absolutely not. I mean, road trips are cool if you have something to stop and see, but that drive is desert. Like that, there's nothing really at all.
Really?
There's like one stop, and actually it's some of the best Mexican food I've ever had, and it's like inside this random hotel, so I stop there every single time. But besides that, it is nothing. Like literally nothing, and it's so ugly driving up there. Brown birds. So
we're used to trips like that. So when we lived in Charlotte, and we're from Cleveland, so we go back to Cleveland for the holidays, and it's like 7.5, 8 hours of nothingness. You'll catch a city here and there, then you're through the mountains once you hit Virginia, West Virginia, up to Ohio, and it's like, if you don't have, if you're not with somebody, it's so damn boring, and you're just like the same thing, nothing. Oh,
yes, absolutely.
Anyway, so why don't you explain to us what you do, and then as I said, I don't want to make this a whole coronavirus type shit. I'm sick of hearing about it, but like our vibes within it, I think makes sense. But,
yeah, absolutely. I think that it's hard to completely like ignore it because it affects everybody in one way or another, but we don't need to just dwell on it. Okay, so I started out just being a fitness competitor back before social media was such a huge thing. I competed, I had sponsors, I did appearances, and now, like most people, transitioned more into social media influencing with the niche of primarily fitness.
Right.
So have my own fitness app, my own program on a fitness app, and I do some in-person personal training, very selective. And then right now just focusing on social media influencing.
Which is, you're in a good place right now. Like, think if
how have you seen things change on your workout program online?
Well, so my workout program right now, so I have a 12-week program, and it was I wanted to increase the difficulty a little bit. So I did some of the workouts based in the gym. But I hate cardio, and one of the ways that I deal with it is I do a lot of HIIT workouts. And so I integrated that into there, and that you can all do at home. So my workout program right now is, I would say, kind of just pretty steady because it's not a home-based workout. So what I've done now is all of my videos that I'm posting on other platforms are all home workouts, because obviously that's what we're doing right now. But the increase in eyes right now on social media is huge. And so that is a silver lining with everything that's going on, is you're getting a lot of these people just on their phones, and they either want to be entertained, they want to learn, or obviously they want to stay fit. And so if I can capitalize on any three of those, then I got more viewers and engagement for sure.
Yeah. And us three are used to working from home type stuff. A lot of people
absolutely
aren't used to this. They used to meet with people. So those people are even more on their phone, like, what's going on? Give me off. Like, they're just bored as shit at home, consuming this shit out of content.
Yes, absolutely. I'm like, sometimes I'm like, I still have shit to do. I'm not sure like what you guys are doing and why you have so much free time, because I still feel like I'm busy and my days are full. And so I laugh at these people making like 20 TikToks a day when I'm like, dude, I got things to do right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the hottest topic is like, what are you guys watching? What are you watching on Netflix?
Yeah.
I'm the same boat. Like we're pretty much doing the same thing. We're not just sitting around at all.
Yeah.
I would say the difference how I feel is that it doesn't, whereas like the weekend would be a little bit less.
Yeah.
It just doesn't really matter now. So it's like, like last night, me and Liv watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is a 3-hour movie. I normally wouldn't have probably done that on a Thursday night, but it's like, fuck it, I'm going to do the same shit Saturday, Thursday. Like, the days don't matter.
Yeah.
Where we might have waited 2 days to watch it, or watch it tonight or something.
I can tell you, I feel like a little less pressured to like have this set schedule and like do these things where I'm like, are we all waking up at noon? Like, what's going on? Kind of that's the thing. Cool. Like, I'm just at my own pace. So that's been really nice as far as like, I'm just going to do me and what works for me. And if I'm on a roll, I'm going to stay up till 3 a.m. and like do that because I can sleep in if I need to sleep in. But I have had like way more interviews or phone calls with potential sponsors and stuff because of this engagement. And so I feel like I'm almost busier now than I have been before, just because people are realizing, hey, social media and the marketing that goes into it, the advertising that goes into it is important, and especially now.
Yeah, especially in your space because people can continue to work out, and if like you're a brand and you're not necessarily a direct to consumer, you have to be creative to become that, like, and now, so I feel like that's probably why you're getting hit up a bunch by potential sponsors.
Yeah. And I think that, there's no way or shape or form that I'm being sponsored than the same people that are sponsoring the NBA. But you have people that now have money where typically it would be dumped into, say, something like the NBA, a game or something. And now they have maybe those profits to go and use that in other fields. So that way they can like pay other people to do other things rather than they're dumping their sponsorships into other games or facilities.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. And like for us, business wise, is just a little different. Like somebody asked me yesterday, because a lot of the stuff we do is video content for people or brands or whatever it may be. But the difference now is while we're not going out and shooting video content, I think I for sure have, I think you probably have too, Timmy. I've had more conversations about when this is over, let's set this up, or let's start this conversation, because so many people are by their emails or by their phones for Instagram to start the conversation. Whereas before it'd be a lot harder to get a hold of somebody.
Yeah. And that's what I've been telling people right now is like building your foundation phase. Like if there's something that you want to do, you really have the time to learn your craft or to educate yourself, to build a foundation once we're out of this, to really go out there and be like, okay, now I'm ready to start my videos or do my podcast or whatever you have the time to now build that into something that you want to go out and do.
Yep.
Yeah, that's wild. Have you seen an uptick like global reach? Because everyone's in the same boat as us. But have you I know that we had who was it? The guy from AirAsia who worked there. Remember? Yeah. He was like a big Katie Chung Hua fan.
Oh yeah.
And he was in Malaysia. So have you seen an uptick around the globe?
I don't know if I've really seen. All I've seen is that my numbers of engagement going up. So more eyes per post, more eyes, more likes, but not globally. No, I don't think so. For some reason, my Facebook has a lot of international fans. So I've just always seen them on there, but I don't think I've made anything. I think it's just as a whole has gotten better.
Yeah, it makes sense. People are chilling. People are chilling like we're chilling at our houses. Nobody's leaving.
I know. Can you guys go outside or no? Yeah, you can go on runs and stuff.
Kind of. I went on a run earlier today, and I saw this cop, and he was wearing a mask, and he was walking towards me. I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, there's no way I'm going to stop, though. Like, this cop, and there's no way this cop is catching me either. So I just kept running. But we're allowed outside, but.
Yeah, I've gone on. Well, wear a mask, Timmy. You
alleged.
Well, what I wore, I know I have Liv's got a sleeve where it's like covers, but it's a long. I don't even know what it actually is.
I think they're like that's like a ski mask thing.
Yeah,
yeah, it's
like
more
you
like
wear them
that.
when you're skiing or something. Yeah.
Or
so
robbing a bank.
Yeah, we're robbing a bank. So I've worn that the last couple of days because they said you need to wear a mask if you're outside in LA. I don't know how stringent they are about that, or if they're actually going to say some shit. But I yesterday I was with Cash, my son, and I take him on my runs with me, and same thing. I was going down a hill, and a cop was coming down the hill with me, but in a car, and he just had nodded at me and moved on. Didn't say anything.
I know. I really wanted to run the strip to really get a cool view of how empty it was. And there was a lot of security and a lot of cops. And I just, every single time I passed one, I was just waiting for them to stop me. But same thing, kind of waved and continued. I think they're more worried about people breaking in, or I guess if there was like a bunch of people together or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I know, the beach is 1,000 feet back here from where I am right now. And I know people have gotten, I heard $1,000 fine. I don't know if that was you that told me that, Timmy, or our buddy T-Mac, $1,000 fine for surfing in the water.
Wow. That's pretty crazy.
They're cracking down. You can't go on the beach. You can't, they've got like those construction barricades. So where you can't, you can, if I wanted to get on the beach, I get on the beach, but they make it clear that you're not allowed to be doing this. So if you do it, your ass is in trouble.
I don't know if it's like the older generation thing, but they seem to not really understand. And my mom's like, well, I really want to go to the beach. I'm like, Mom, it's closed. Like, I don't know how many different times I need to tell you, like, things are closed. You can't go anywhere. Like, you can't do anything.
Well, that's what it is. Yeah, parents are different. But I was speaking of, the same hill, I go to run this hill. So it's a little less than 3/4 of a mile. I run 2, and then it's super steep. So I'll do sprints or lunges or do some backpedaling, whatever it is. That's like my get out of the house, get my heart rate up, and I'll come back and I'll do stuff on the porch. But I was there 2 days ago and I saw 2 NFL guys there. Well, I started talking to them. Hey, I do video, and we're with a lot of athletes, kind of stuff, and exchanged Instagrams. And there's a biz dev
There
condo
you go.
on a hill mid workout. Yeah,
That's awesome. That's what you got to do. Look at you hustling.
Yeah.
and it was just like, hey, they were doing cool stuff, and
Yeah.
and I've gone since and gone on their Instagrams, and their Instagrams are kind of nothing. Like they're kind of whatever. They're your typical athlete Instagram where it's picture them working out, picture them on the team, picture them stunting with whatever their thing is, car, hat, shoes, and then repeat, or family
And
shots.
I relate to you so much on that level because I've always said that, like, they're super successful playing football, but why have they not capitalized on social media? Because I mean, unless your back's to the wall, I feel like, they're like, I don't need it, it's fine. Like if they get cut and then they don't have the income, they're gonna wish they had it, because there's so much money that can be made on social media, and it's so easy when you're in their position to do it. And it's so frustrating for me to like see these guys, and I'm like, you have so much power on your social media and you haven't capitalized. Like, why are you not making, okay, you're making, let's say $1,000. You could be making $2 extra $1,000 on your social media. Like, why don't you want to do that by literally putting just a little bit more effort into it?
A little bit. And
Just a little bit.
so
Yeah.
you know what kind of money you make, and you came from 0 followers, and you were on whenever you got your pro card and stuff like that, you were on these little small shows, and before social media even, and now you know what you make off social media. These guys have millions of people watching them every damn week during the season. But to me, the problem is that it's not ingrained to them that this is a source of revenue from managers and agents. So they don't, they do their thing. They want to look cool. They want to have fun. They might want to engage with people, whatever the deal is, but they don't understand that it is a business. Like that is the business. You are the media company. There's lots and lots of money to be made there. And you also know this. Okay.
And I think too that, right. I mean, some of these guys are really young. And so when you have your money and you're getting paid right then, you're not really thinking that you need any other avenues of anything else. So it's kind of like, no, I'm good. I'm just playing football. I'm just getting my money. Like, I don't need to do anything. But really, like, you see some guys that are more business minded and they're like, listen, I'm going to capitalize on this. And someone who does a great job, who may not have a good reputation, is AB. Like, he sat there and he hired a videographer to like do his own documentary for whatever reason that he wants to do, whether it's just for his ego, but he's pulling in money in all different directions. And then he obviously ruined his reputation, but that was somebody that got it. And I feel like there are some smaller guys that do get it too, because there'll be guys on practice squads that have 50,000 followers because they know that they need to hustle and that they can make that money off of social media. But it's the guys that kind of made it that could be superstars, but they just kind of, I don't know if they're complacent, or they're just not educated in how much they can make.
I think that's more so the route. At this point, we worked with people who NFL, UFC, NBA, and I've talked to all of them. Like, what do you ever, what does your agent tell you to do, or managers? And every person I've talked to, there's very little or zero guidance as far as how to make money through social, or how to even. And I don't say like I would never go to a guy and say, or gal and say, you should do this, or you should create this just because of money, but at least guidance on the back end of like, all right, so here's what you want to be a host, or you want to do commentary. Well, let's start doing commentary on your page so people know you can do it, and these companies can hire you to do that from a back end perspective, or a long-term perspective.
Yeah.
But like you said, there's not the thought that, oh, this is a viable business. What do you have, 60 something thousand Instagram followers? That's a business. That's a business for you. And if you are that person, and if you have 60,000 followers, plus you're on national television in front of millions of people every single week for the next 16 weeks, there's a lot of money to be had there.
Not even that, but their engagement is so high because people follow them that are true fans. So if they said, hey guys, you know what makes me faster when I go out there and eat a handful of dirt, majority of people would go out there and do it, because these are people that really believe in this person and that are really true fans, where, you know, some of these girls out there have hundreds of thousands of followers and they're not going to buy anything from them. So when it comes time to buy something or to sell a product or to sell a service, these fans are really going to buy it.
Yeah, I think going back to what you said earlier too, Katie, the power that they don't realize they have not only like the viewership, like Pat said, you got a whole team, you have a social media team behind your team, you've got the league. You could, like, I would bet almost every single athlete in the NFL could call the NFL digital team or whatever and say, hey, I'm going to take over social media this week, and they would do it. And they would just get behind all the players.
Yeah.
They probably love that. They would absolutely love that.
Some initiative on that end. Yeah.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Especially now where there's no, like, people are just starving for content.
Yes.
Definitely.
Well,
yes, absolutely.
And to backtrack a little bit. So I know Troy, one of the guys we work with, used to play on the Lakers, now he's with the Nuggets. But he said when he was at the Lakers, they would send you all the content anyway. They'd put together cool highlight reels, or you have a big play, and they're going to send you that because they're going to create it anyway. They're going to post it on their social, and they want you to post it. So not only are you getting you've got those eyeballs, but then they're also helping you create on this end. Like it's just a matter of capitalizing down the line from that.
Yeah, they have all the tools to be successful. Mm-hmm. It's just, like I said, it's making that click, whether it be educating them or just education in general, education on how much money, how to use the platform, and just how much potential they have once they're out of the league to continue to make money or to open other doors of opportunity with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think too, part of it is a lot of agents, managers don't see the dollar signs. So that's not where they're sending them to, because they, obviously some do and some get it, but there's a lot that don't. And so if they're not seeing the upfront dollars of this specific thing, well, then what's the value to them? They don't see that long-term type.
And, a lot of those agents too, they're focusing on their contracts.
Yeah.
And that's where their big payday is. I mean, they make X percent of their contracts. And they have so many guys that really, they'd have to have their own division of social media management to even really focus on that. So I can't speak for all, but I'm sure that some agents are just like, yeah, if that's what you want to do, you can go do it. I'm going to work on your contract or see where you're going to be at next year. So that's kind of probably down on the totem pole of their priorities.
It is. And we know that for a fact. We know people we've talked to that is what they do. They only handle contracts, the big stuff. That's where they make their money. That's where they see it. But from, like you've said, from a long-term perspective, or even just next step, you break your leg. Hey, you're done from the NBA or UFC or NFL. Like, your career could be over. You're a car accident away from career being over. So what's next?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. I think, that's a lot of where we saw, we were athletes to a very small level, but we've always followed it, and we're always into sports. So we've seen that. And that's where I think why we decided, like, hey, let's really start focusing, instead of working with brands exclusively, let's start working with athletes a couple years ago. And we can really switch this over, because there is such a market for athletes to be able to do this and make money. And we see people like you and some other friends who make good money just from social. I mean, obviously that includes other things, but that's the tool is social media.
Yeah. It's so funny too, trying to explain to older generations, like, one, how you get your income, and like, two, like, your job description. I always talk to, like, either my grandparents or, anyone, and they're like, oh, how's everything going? Like, do you need money during, like, this crisis? I'm like, I'm okay. Like, I'm kind of fine. I'm just, well, what are you doing? Well, I'm just, like, creating content. And I always just tell them I'm making workout videos, because that seems to be, like, the only way that they grasp it. Because I'm like, no, I'm just, like, making workout videos. And they're like, okay, cool. So.
What do you think you'll do differently, if at all, once, or what have you been doing differently? Have you done anything really different as far as like when things got shut down? And you talk about building next steps. Are you building out some next step type things?
I am. I'm working on a project that I'm not quite ready yet to put out there, but I'm working on a project right now. And like I said, this downtime is giving me a lot of time to learn more about what I'm working on and to set it up. But the only thing really that I've been doing different is just trying to create better content on my social media platforms. I don't ever film workouts for like say YouTube that aren't follow along. So that's something that I've been trying to do because I've realized when people now are at home, these live workouts are great because they want to follow along with someone, like these group fitness classes and stuff like that. So just changing kind of the content a little bit so it targets more like what people are going through. And then right now I'm just focused on setting up appointments with like videographers, photographers, just to when I come out of this to create more content. Because that's probably been the worst thing is like, I'm not a photographer. I don't know how to edit photos. When I want to have those high-end photos, it's hard for me to do that on my own.
Sure. Makes sense. Who's for your workouts, who is your market-ish? Is there like a certain, I mean, you said they're more intense. I don't know if that was the word you used, but like tougher, whatever the word used was. Is it more people who are fairly fit now looking to go to the next level? Or is it like, you know?
I would say it's anyone from 20 to 35. Just I've done a lot of polls on my social media to see like what kind of workouts they like, and everyone wants to do the HIIT workout. So like the quick high heart rate workouts to kind of get, I think people like to feel that sweating and feeling like they were exhausted, because lifting right now is pretty hard to do because they just don't have the equipment. Mm-hmm. So, and then running, obviously you don't need to be taught how to run, or you don't need to follow somebody to go running, but HIIT workouts has been really, really popular.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What else, Timmy? Anything? Zoom number one with not just us.
Yeah, I know.
Hopefully it goes off without a hitch. Hopefully the record works. And
did you see all those like how Zoom's getting backlash though from security reasons?
Yeah, because people are hacking in them and they're like taking videos. Google won't even let their employees use it. They're like, no.
No, I saw that, but like, why is Google employees using it? Google has their own Hangout and their own infrastructure. Why are they using Zoom anyway?
It's like a whole marketing thing. They're like, hey, let's just like make a public service announcement so that everyone thinks they have to use Google.
I would imagine, I know somebody who works at Google. I would imagine, it's two episodes in a row talking about that it is more of a marketing type thing. I don't know that they ever used Zooms.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I use it. I do workouts, live workouts for my friends and family just to kind of help them out through these times. And that's the first time that I've really used it. So this is all new to me. But
I love Zoom.
So far. I haven't used, use the Google, what is it? Google Hangouts? Is that what they use?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even know if I've used it.
We used to use Google Hangouts for our fantasy football draft.
Oh, yeah. We did it this year too, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. That's the only time. I use it once a year.
How weird is it that sports are canceled? Like, that's just so weird to me.
Did you? And
UFC was almost back too. Did you see that?
I was like, obviously we're in the UFC. We're always talking about UFC stuff. But when I saw it was canceled, I was like, like, I was getting geeked for it. I was ready to come back next weekend. We're gonna go over to Timmy's. We're gonna, done.
I know.
I don't know if you guys saw this.
Though. I don't know what that means though.
Oh,
have you seen that? Because now Gaethje and Ferguson won't fight. They're saying, but what's delayed then? Just the rest of the cards?
Well, I think they might try to pick up in May. Because you know why the UFC got shut down, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't Dana White. It had nothing to do with the casino they were going to do it in either. It was Disney and ESPN. Dana said the head of Disney and the head of ESPN and called and said, we want you to stand down on this and not do it right now. So that's why they're not doing it.
That's way above his head.
Yeah. And it was like the senator of California called Disney, whatever. So came down that way.
Well, yeah. I think it was governor. I don't know who it was. Who knows?
Whatever. You're Mr. Politician.
Yeah. This dropped about 2 hours ago too. The XFL has shut down business as of today, this morning, and no plans of moving forward for 2021 too.
Really?
Yeah.
Like this is, hey, we tried.
Like done. Yeah.
We tried and
Yeah.
that's it. They just ran out of money maybe.
I feel like that could have been another one
Probably.
that like did really well if they just kept up another week or two without fans, and then everybody had to watch it, and then they could have maybe rode a wave. But they shut down as soon as the NBA shut down, because they had they went halfway through the season or something like that.
I think so.
Yeah, they were planning on still, when the NBA shut down, they were still planning on a game Sunday or Saturday, the weekend. So NBA stopped Wednesday or Thursday. They were planning on a game Saturday or Sunday in Seattle with no fans. And then Seattle got shut down, and then trickle effect, because Seattle's was the epicenter, not the epicenter, but a mainstay of a lot of the issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no XFL. Those guys were supposed to get paid fully. I wonder if that's not the case anymore.
Yeah.
I talked to a handful, or I have talked to a handful of XFL dudes in DMs and try to talk about like business stuff. And I just said this on my Instagram story, is like, you never know what you got till it's gone. Like, you've got that, like, what was the first XFL game? 6 million people watched that game.
I watched it just because pure curiosity, like, hey, what is happening? And then they had some great things that they implemented, like somehow, like when they did reviews, stuff that stuff that NFL could really learn from, that maybe it's harder for them to transition into, but they came out of the gates doing stuff, in some ways that people would like to see the NFL doing.
Yeah, I loved that. I loved the kickoff rule.
Yeah.
The NFL would never do this, but I love the immediate interviews with guys.
Yes, that was really cool.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I mean, no, I don't think one team had a good quarterback, but it was like still cool to watch.
A couple of guys have got signed to the NFL.
Yeah, the one good,
Really?
JP Parker or something like that, right?
Look at that. Good for them.
What'd you say? What was the name to me?
JP Parker, something like that.
He's in Carolina now. Something like that. Two guys I know for sure have gotten signed to rosters. So those are quarterbacks. Other position players have too. So there are some guys who could play. There's a lot of fringe type guys that just didn't get enough play, or what wasn't a fit for the NFL team they had started with last year and went to the XFL. They had talent. It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Tim and I liked about it, talked about it a decent amount of things we'd like to see from a back end marketing and that kind of perspective of it, but sucks it's gone.
I know.
They had the eyeballs.
Back, huh? They said like we might not ever come back.
I think they gave themselves an out. So, yeah.
I don't think they didn't specifically say that, at least, as of the last thing I saw was an hour ago. It didn't say we're never coming back, but it's just, I think the wording exactly was no plans of coming back for 2021.
Interesting.
Pull that up. Yeah.
Well, that sucks. I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean,
no plans to return for 2021 was the words.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty bold to just like publicly say that.
I don't know if they said that or if that's just what this guy reported.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. That was from SportsCenter, from an ESPN reporter, that it's done and then no plans of 2021. But I know they shut down business ventures as of this morning, which means that presumably you're not getting paid after today, kind of shit.
Yeah.
And then moving forward, they're not gonna. So the issue probably was they're obviously not bringing in the money because they're not on TV, so they're losing the TV money. They're losing the gate money, which they probably didn't get a ton of that, but some. And they're still paying all these damn people, and they're like, not viable. Who knows?
Man, this is just a weird thing because it's not like something any of us have ever experienced or any businesses have ever experienced. So it's kind of like everyone's just like learning as they go about like how to take on stuff and how to move forward and how to pay people. Like everything is kind of up in the air, but.
Well, I mean, think about if you didn't have an online training platform and you only train people in person. Like you would have scrambled a month ago. Like, what the hell do I do? Let me do some Zoom things and get 4 of the 12 people I work with to pay me a few bucks to do this. Like,
yeah, absolutely. It's crazy. I do have a question for you guys, just for my own curiosity. What would you say, like tip wise, for people that are either athletes or social media influencers to be working on right now? From your experience, from what you guys are doing right now.
Good content, like you said, is a plus. I think, and I'll answer first, Timmy, because I'm already answering, and then you can.
Yeah, you're already talking.
So like with some of the athletes we work with, it's we're still moving on forward. Like Megan Anderson, who's the UFC fighter, she's constantly doing IG lives, one with her coach. So when UFC announced that they were gonna officially have a fight 4 days ago, within 20 minutes, she's doing an Instagram live with James Krause, who's also a UFC fighter and happens to be her coach. So they're talking about it, immediate react. What we did on that end is then we cut that up for her. She's able to put that on her YouTube and splice it to put it on different social media routes. So she's staying active. Mm-hmm. She's also set up a Twitch account, so she's able to engage that way. She's doing a happy hour tomorrow on YouTube Live. So she's just bullshitting personality-wise, showcasing that kind of stuff. She's got one of her friends is going to come over, and they're going to make margaritas and just answer questions and talk shit. So continuing to engage and show more personality when you can't consistently talk about what you normally talk about, which for her happens to be fighting type stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be number one. I agree, content, because people are consuming so much right now. I think the other thing that I would do is the outreach to whether it's a sponsor or potential sponsor, but also like media companies.
Can you say partner? I like the word partner.
Partner. But
thank you.
So hey, you pipe down.
You guys are my favorite Irish twins.
Oh, thank you.
But here's why is so all these media companies are looking for content too. So if you reach out to somebody who you normally couldn't, you could potentially do a social takeover. You could potentially write a blog post. You could get those eyeballs that they have and then drive them to you. It's another reason. But then you have to have good content and constant content to keep following up with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So same thing is we've had a couple of people we work with, hey, reached out to this company and do an IG takeover or do an IG live. One of a different girl we work with, I said, why don't you reach out to these 4 companies that you would be a good fit for you? She's done some stuff with them. She'll do, and they're big media companies. I don't want to say the names in case they fall through, but big media companies that are well known in their spaces. One's got 500,000 followers, one's got 700,000 followers, and she's doing takeovers next week on both platforms.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know, that's a big deal if she does good quality stuff when she's on there to get people back to her page and grow that social.
Yeah, I think it's like different for each platform too. Like show the value, like whether it's maybe a Q&A or whatever it might be that's pertinent towards that outlet or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I love collabs too. Like
I love collabs.
Yeah, like how you make it happen. What's the everyone's on IG Live, which I don't think is a bad thing right now. It is a little saturated, but if you're putting out good stuff and you're having a fun conversation, like screw it. I've seen Troy, who we work with, and then Rashard Higgins, who plays on the Browns. They were both doing IG Lives, different times, different places, and they just popped on just to bullshit, answer some questions, didn't promote it, just popped on, and both times they let somebody in, and they were young kids. So Troy, the guy Troy was with, 8 maybe, like young kid, and the guy Rashard did yesterday was probably 13, a little older. And it was like so cute to see, like, it was like, oh, what's up? And they were so geeked just to be talking to these people, like it was such a big deal for them to engage. And, they went back and screen grabbed the whole conversation and then they posted it on their Instagram and they told all their buddies about it. And it was such a cool thing. I mean, like that's not something you probably do every day, but it's a cool thing to be able to engage, and you can't scale that smile from that kid or what that means to that kid.
Yeah, absolutely. I think right now, the number one thing people need to be focusing on is creating that content and getting creative with it.
Yeah.
It's IG Live, you did say, is a little saturated. And so go on there and do something different or find another way to be on IG Live or do stories or capitalize on that. But yeah,
Yeah.
right now is the time to do it.
Yeah, a lot of people are doing the IG Live takeovers. Few, it seems to be, are doing the IG story takeovers. So why not like do it step by step, slowly? You also, when you do an IG story takeover, you can tag yourself and they can click it and go to your page. Whereas with if you do an IG Live, you're under the ESPN account or whatever the account is.
Yeah, I have noticed that because I'll watch someone take over or someone that's on there and I cannot click on their profile, or if it does, it's like hard to get to. And so that does suck in that way because I'm like, oh, I want to see who this girl is, but I have to jump through hoops to get to her profile. So trying to find an easier way to let people get on your profile too.
Yeah. Well, I think that's an Instagram problem too. They should, even on comments, when people, sometimes I'll click on the comment and it could even be a verified account. I'm like, who the hell is this person? I'll click on it. And you can't click on like the person commenting. You can only click on the IG profile or the IG that it's under its profile. And then if we were to go IG Live with you, I could see Katie's and click on you to go to your profile.
Yeah.
But if I can't go on the comments, and then I also can't, if you do the takeover, I can't click on your name, even if you pin it at the bottom of the IG Live.
See, maybe if you pay money, Instagram will let you.
Right? They should sometimes, you use stuff and you're like, why is this not a thing already? Did the people who make this not know? Like, have they never done it or played with it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Excuse me. All right, kids. Speaking of work, let's get back to work. 2:46, what, 45 minutes? Usually we're like 30 to 45 minutes ish.
Shoot, sorry.
No, this is
you're good.
This is good. We could probably do this another 45 minutes.
You can splice it and take what you want out of it, make it shorter.
This will be the whole damn thing.
I don't
cut
slicing going on. Yeah.
No, I slice the beginning and the end if needed, and that's it. I don't go in there.
You guys do all of your editing for your podcast, right? And your videos?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So what I'll do is I'll record this on Zoom, or I'll end it on Zoom, then it records to my drive. Then I'll cut the beginning, cut the end. I could have it up in 20 minutes if YouTube wasn't moving slow as shit right now. But I'll have it up today.
That's cool.
Part of it. And then I'll cut some up, post it on our social, tag up Katie. That's how we roll.
How fun. Well, we got to do this more because I haven't talked to you guys in so long. Like I haven't talked to you had Cash. So how old is he?
He'll be 7 months in a week.
What is going on?
Dude's like crawling.
So cute.
It's crazy. Yeah, and we're in Vegas. I told you, Liv's dad and stepmom live there, so we're in there. We've been there a couple times last year. We'll be there a couple times this year. We can meet up. I know you're in LA.
Yep.
A decent amount.
Yep.
And one time maybe we'll bring Timmy along.
Yeah, seriously, guys. Hey, guys, just got here.
Hey. Yeah, and you guys have to let me know when you're here. We can figure out something to always create content about, since I have some free time.
Deal. All right, Katie, we appreciate it.